Well, it came about by a guy named Al Massini who created the idea. He called me and wanted me to do it. I was stupid enough to turn it down 3 times in a row. And I said, I didn't want to do an amateur show. And he kept convincing me, no, we're going to find stars. Boy, was he right. We found some stars. And so I was very proud. I'm very happy I did that. I did that for 12 years. I wish it was on the air right now. I've tried to bring another show back like it, Next Big Star, and so far I've not been successful. I had it on the air at PAX for a year, but it didn't do anything there. There was not enough noticeability of, the PAX network does not have a huge audience. But it was the only place I could sell it. Now with the American Idol, maybe I can slip in because that's brought everybody's attention to the idea of finding talented people. And if they get a star as big as some of my stars, like Britney Spears and Ray Romano and Rosie O'Donnell, if they get people like that out of this endeavor, singers like Aaliyah that I found when she was 7 years old, we lost her sadly, but Christina Aguilera, Alanis Morissette, Usher, all those people I saw when they were 7 years old, and now they're major performers. So if they get somebody like that, that will reinvigorate that concept. And I understand there are a couple of knockoff shows that are coming on. There's one from Nashville, the Nashville Star. So maybe I can sneak in the back door. But Idol is certainly a phenomenon. The audience, I understand, this week was incredible, and the total audience has been incredible for Fox. So the concept works. It worked back with Major Bowes. It worked with Ted Mack. It worked with Arthur Godfrey. It worked with Dick Clark. It worked with Star Search. And it's still working now. Ray Romano from Star Search lost the first night, but kept going. Didn't stop him, didn't knock him off the track. He stayed on track and kept going, and now he's the hottest thing on television. And he also is going to have another career because he's going to get into be in movies. He's a natural for, we talked about a long time ago, the second banana kind of guy in a movie. If there were a Cary Grant alive, he could be Cary Grant's best friend. Some of the stuff that Jerry Stiller is now doing. Those kind of things could happen for Ray Romano. So he is just, he'll have this thing, they'll put this to bed, it'll live on in reruns forever, but he'll go on to other things because he's that talented. But imagine he didn't win the first night. That's what I loved about Star Search. You gave the people a chance. You gave them an avenue. Brad Garrett, his brother, was my first-year champion. But it's everybody loves Raymond, not everybody loves Brad. So you see what can happen, and that's what I think is wonderful about that kind of show. I love that kind of show.
And Star Search was such a young talent pool.
Yeah, well, we had that young category, which a lot of people say, well, why do you show these kids and they're too cutesy pie or like that? But the audience loved them. See, the audience loves to see the little girl come out and tap dance or the little boy come out and sing a song. We had a guy came out and he was dressed all in black. He had a black cowboy suit on, a black 10-gallon hat that almost absorbed his whole body. He had the black boots, and he came out and he sang, "All My Exes Live in Texas." And I almost fell off the stool when I heard that. But the best one was a guy named Blake Ewing, who was having quite a career. He was the other boy in Richie Rich. He was the friend of Richie Rich, and he was one of the remake of the Little Rascals. So he's having quite a career. He's quite a talent, but he came out in a white set of tails. Now, I don't own a white set of tails, but he had a white set of tails with the white collar, the white shirt, and he came out and he sang, and he was 7 years old, and he sang My Way. Now, I was holding it in pretty good on stage, not giggling around, just holding it in pretty strong until he got to that section where he said, "Regrets, I've had a few." What would somebody stole his little red wagon? What regret could he have at 7? But then again, too few to mention. That put me away. But that's where the stars come from. They came from that pool, the Britney Spears and the Christina Aguilera. They all came from that pool, and they're popping up all the time. Now, Usher, all of a sudden, is now a big star. He was on the American Music Awards and just won the whole thing. He really was the hot act of the night. Young talent. So I'm very proud of what I did. I'm very pleased with the results.